I'm Tristan from the Lantern Recording Studio, and today I'm going to teach you how to record the effects loop of your amp. I've made a detailed diagram showing how you should route the signal to record the effects loop of your amp. First, we start with the guitar going into the preamp effects. These effects are the ones that you will want to be affected by the distortion or preamp stages of your amp, such as overdrive. Then from those pedals, we go into the input of your amplifier. We will have several signals coming out of the amplifier going to various places. The main thing that you want to take into consideration is making sure that you don't run the output of your amp into your interface. You will damage your interface because the signal coming out of the main output of your amp carries powered current that is used to drive the speakers of a cabinet. But you do always want to make sure that you keep the main output of your amp plugged into a cabinet to make sure that the load from the amp is being routed to a safe place. After this, I usually place a 1/4-inch adapter with nothing connected to the female side into the effects return jack of the amp to effectively mute the signal. This jack is expecting the signal after effects have been applied to the send signal, so when we place an adapter with no signal routed to it, there's no signal flowing through the amp after the effects loop send stage. Out of the effects send jack, we have our post amp effects like delay, reverb, and modulation pedals. If you aren't using any pedals after the effects loop send, you are able to run the signal directly from the effects loop send to your interface because the signal from the effects loop send is balanced or line level. If you are using effects pedals between the effects send and your interface, you would benefit from using a DI box in between the pedals and your sound card. The signal from pedals is unbalanced, and a DI box can bring the unbalanced signal to a line level signal for better compatibility. Some interfaces have dedicated instrument inputs though that can bring an unbalanced signal to line level for you, so in that case a DI box would not be necessary. After the DI box, you go into your interface. Your interface is of course connected to your computer and then routed into your DAW. On the track that you are recording the direct signal from your amp, you will want to load a cabinet simulator and load an impulse response into the simulator. This will simulate a mic'd cabinet. Normally cab simulators are used in conjunction with amp simulators, but this is an easy way to get the sound of a cabinet that has been recorded in a professional room with sometimes expensive mics and expensive preamps that maybe you can't afford. It also makes it easy to switch between different cabinets quickly. While I set up, let's recap some facts that may be useful to know. Number 1, always leave your amp plugged into the cabinet to avoid any damage to your interface. I can't say this enough. Number 2, effects loops are generally used to apply effects like delay and reverb to a signal that has already had distortion applied to it. Think of the signal chain. You want to apply the modulation to the distortion, not the distortion to the modulation. Distorting effects will make your sound muddy. Number 3, there are 2 types of effects loops, series and parallel loops. Number 4, series loops are the more common type of effects loops because they're the simplest. Number 5, parallel loops are easily identifiable because they have a mix knob that you can use to adjust the amount of signal coming from effects pedals. Number 6, effects loops are located between the preamp stage and power amp sections in an amplifier. Number 7, the signal from the effects loop is balanced, but the signal from pedals is unbalanced. Number 8, if you are running effects pedals in between the effects loop send and your interface, you should use a DI box before the interface input to bring the signal from the pedals down to line level. Line level signals are more compatible with interfaces that don't have dedicated instrument inputs. Number 9, you can use a 1/4-inch adapter into the effects loop return to mute the sound coming out of your cabinet while the effects loop send is going to your interface. Number 10, use an impulse loader like NAD-IR to load impulses simulating a speaker cabinet. Number 11, using this method provides the convenience of switching cabinets with one click to adjust tone. I have 2 guitar tracks loaded, and then I have a virtual instrument. It's the light version of Get Good Drums. It's just the stock way how it comes when you open it right out of the box. On each guitar track I have NAD-IR from Ignite amps, and I have the Catharsis S High impulse loader, which seems to be very popular. You can get it online for free. And I also have JST Finality with the threshold set to -7 and the color button on. Each track is the exact same and has a high pass filter set to 100 Hz and a low pass filter set to 12 kHz. Let's record a track and see how it sounds. Each guitar track is going to be panned hard right and hard left. It's going to play the right track first. And now let's record a double of that so we can pan it hard left. So as you can tell, this is an easy workaround if you can't afford a load box. There doesn't seem to be a lot of information available on the subject of recording high watt amplifiers this way, so I hope that I was able to lift the fog, so to speak. It can be scary plugging an expensive amplifier into an interface and not knowing what's going to happen, but thankfully it's safe. If you like this video and it helped you out, subscribe so that you can stay up to date with all the future tutorials that I plan to release. And links for the Lantern Recording Studio social media sites are listed below if you want to connect with me or have any questions or just want to talk. Also, feel free to leave suggestions for future topics that you'd like me to cover, or if you had a question about something, leave them in the comments section and I'll try to get to them. Thank you guys for watching.